Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Before we start, we have a disclosure. Please be aware of risk in the future trading. We strongly advise you to stay on a sim as long as needed before you go live using a real money. There is a high risk in the future trading. We're not your financial advisor, and this is not a trading room. This is an educational room. You are very welcome to follow any of our automated trading signal. As long as you are on a sim, we're not responsible for your trade. Today is a Friday, and normally we start at 10 o'clock. We are a little bit early on a Friday, and for the ones that just joined us on the market analyzer, the Autotrade took a trade at 39.0975, target 39.15, and the market analyzer is based on one contract. And there is a 23 ticks. On the NASDAQ, we had an entry 127.22 and the target 128.11. We are 400 ticks into the profit based on one contract, and it is $2,000 from the last entry. It's not the whole day. The market analyzer is on one contract. On the auto trade, we are using two contracts. So it's double the amount of money. It's 4,000 because it's two contract. The market analyzer is based on one contract. Right now, based on the last entry signal, this is a new signal come out to the Russell, buy at 22.01, target 22.13. The right upper corner, this is a market analyzer based on a 15-second, and what we do, we use the 15-second, the same auto trade, and we use this one here as an example. The Russell is a 15-second Russell, and then we can see it is taking the same trade as the market analyzer, and we have around 40 ticks into the profit. In your package, there is 10 different automated trade, and this is one type of an auto trade. This is another type of an auto trade. This one is the TI7. The daily target is 1,000, and we already claimed 2,600, and we have still 1,200, 300 left on that trade to close. So we are about to close 3,000 on the NASDAQ trade. On the CL, this is also a different auto trade. It's a TI7. The same auto trade as this one here, the NASDAQ, and there is not much place to populate everything here. And I don't know if we have some people from Europe. We are on the also a DAX trade. I don't know where to put all this, really. I mean, we're only allowed one screen on the YouTube. I don't know where I can put all those auto trades, but there we go. It's 9:50, and normally we start at 10 o'clock, and we're gonna be quiet from now to 10 o'clock. Thank you. For the ES traders, be careful. We have a heavy resistance line at 39.1875. Most likely, you need to exit around that number, because also the system estimated your target is right there. Your target is 39.50. The targets they are different from one trade to another, depends on the market movement. And we already crossed the target. We already hit the target from the entry price to the target the auto trade delivered. But if you want to extend the target, you can do that to 39.18. And what you need to do also on that kind of auto trade is different than this auto trade here. On that auto trade, you don't need to do that, but it depends who you are, but on this auto trade is you can work with the auto trade if you want to. Oh, God forbid if I ask this, but you can secure some of your profit, and then you can secure some of your profit if you want to, in case if the ES did not go above the 39.1875, which most likely is not. Another question is, one gentleman Jerry sent me his trades, and the guy is not on a sim. He nailed 4,230 on the NASDAQ, but if you are still on the NASDAQ, this is the dead end on the NASDAQ, 12.83. And now we are dropping to the re-entry point on the NASDAQ. So don't say, if you are auto trading using somebody else auto trade, please don't say, this is not my headache. It is your headache when we're talking about your money, not my money, your money. So if you are trading manual or auto trade, you gotta watch out for the re-entry point on the NASDAQ is 127.9875. However, if we go below that number, things can get nasty today in the market. So you gotta be very careful with that. And look at this baby. Look at this baby. Came in right to the take. It's such enjoyable when you have a platform and an instruments that you can depend on to land your aircraft at night, and you cannot see outside. You're dependent on your instruments guiding you to land safely. And it is the same thing with the market. It is such a beautiful thing when you have reliable instruments you can make a decision on. And gorgeous, the way, I don't care about the 3,700 or 4,000, could be tomorrow nothing. This is a trading. This is a future trading. I don't know what is saving us tomorrow, but the accuracy is overwhelming, and I love it. This is what, when you are trading, you have both of your feet on the ground, and with confidence. And when you have a wishy-washy auto trade, inconsistency, and inconsistent what you're looking at, you're always a nervous trader, because you know yourself, you don't have your both feet on the ground. It's a matter of time before you collapse, you and your account. So this is the most important things in the trading, to be knowledgeable, and you have to have instruments you can depend on before you start asking how I turn my auto trade life, because you're looking for a disaster if you don't know what you're looking for. So this is a gorgeous information for a guy who want to take his level of trading somewhere else. And now if we are crossing this ES, if we are crossing this ES, you see, look, if we are crossing this ES, we're looking for a very nice long trend. And the next level, it will be, could be potential to 39.22, and I'll explain why. But right now, the first time, still this one here, the key is 1280. It is the split between thinking long and thinking short. And actually that indicator is on the TI7. You can use it as a filter. When it is above that number, the auto trade will take a long trades. When it's below that number, the auto trade will take short trades only. And for that reason, because this is monitoring, not everything is optimization. Some of the system, if you optimize it, you're gonna screw it up. And this is one of them. It cannot be optimized because you cannot put your fingers in there and mess with the setting, because this number coming from the previous highs and lows and some other stuff, I'm not gonna get involved in it right now on the YouTube. And now we have crossed that hard area. And if we look at the ES have two yellow lines here. Once the market gets into between those two yellow lines, this means the long trades are over. And if you are on a micro account, now it is a time to start. This is not overbought, oversold. I don't believe in that. What happened to the supply demand? There is nothing things called oversold, overbought. I don't know where that come from. And what happened if the oil is $20 and there is no buyers? What is overbought, oversold? Double top. What is double top, double bottom? This is baby stuff for amateur traders. What happened to the triple top, triple stop? I mean, all this nonsense. You know, you paid for somebody to tell you about double top, double bottom, oversold, overbought. This is irrelevant. What happened to the supply demand? You know, so right now we are on between those two yellow lines. And what we did, we have calculated for you. Once this market goes in between those two lines, there is a trend exhaustion. And this is a matter of time, which we have covered before, how you can reverse the market. And actually, in the future trading, the reversing, once you are aware, which we have an auto trade for reverse. If you go back a few videos, we revealed some secrets about how you can reverse the market. And it's funny, one time a guy was teaching traders, and one of my members told me, come and see this guy. And that guy is charging arm and a leg a month for traders to teach them how to trade. It's not like us free on YouTube. That moron said there is nothing called reverse in the market, and is a myth. Because the guy, he's so retarded about trading, charging people money how to trade, and he don't even know how to reverse the market, and he was charging over $700 a month. And I couldn't believe what I heard. And then I logged out, and I was laughing, because we have a big part of traders, they are into reversals. And reversal in the future trading, this is where it's the money. It's not trading with the trend. But the reversal, you have to understand the market. And I would not even, I don't want to go through that again and put somebody in a room for 6 months trying to teach them reversal. We have covered a few videos back about reversal, and that is the end of it. If you get it, if you get the idea about the reversal. We will do another video how to reverse the market, because on the reversal trade, you have between 60 and 80 ticks in the future trading. Once you catch the reversal, you catch the trend from the beginning, from the top to the bottom and from the bottom to the top. And it is very easy and a friendly use. We actually have an auto trade for reversal. But also, you still need to understand what is reversal before you start auto trade and reversal. So to cut story short now, we want to talk about where once this market, and it's vice versa, if the market going down, you have a place where it tells you the chart. You should not go short anymore. And this, we have been using it for many years. And very rare, because there is no such a thing in the market 100. But very rare, I have seen this dead zone here fell. Very rare. So once this market, whether you are auto trading or manual trading, once this market entered that area here, with a resistance line, is telling you this market, there is a trend exhausting. And this is very convenient for a guy, even if you're not qualified trader to reverse the market. It does not hurt. Don't do it on my account. I'm not responsible for your trade. But it does not hurt to go on one account, micro account, and short out once this market goes enter those yellow lines, because the market might gonna go up and down a little bit, it's gonna face the support and go back a little bit up and down, and you get lost because you still cannot filter fake movement in the market. There is a lot of fake movement in the market. They'll lower you to take a trade, they'll lower your auto trade to take a trade, and then they bang it on you, they slam it on you. It's a very old trick. So there is a lot of movement in the market. Is irrelevant. Like now on the ES, this bubbles here is irrelevant because it has crossed the target, which is calculated by math. We're not eyeballing this. The system has calculated, and is calculating. There is a tons of algorithm behind. It's calculating where most likely you need to exit on that ES. We simplify it on the outside, just turn it on, turn it off. But the reality, the inside the engine, it is tons of data calculated. And that kind of auto trade is not like this kind of auto trade. You just put the first target 10 ticks, 20 ticks, 30 ticks, 100 ticks, and that's it. This kind of auto trade function on a real life data. And if the market is moving, your target will move by itself. It recalculate for you. So now after we cross this target, we come in here to this dead zone here. And there is not much going on anymore. And you got the resistance in the middle of those two yellow lines. So when you are auto trading, this is where the area you can maximize your profit. It's not just a donkey auto trade, go auto trade every morning and make money. Also, you still to sometimes interfere in any kind of auto trade to maximize your profit and keep your eye on the trading. And it does not require to put you in a room for 1 year, taking money away from you to just tell you those. There is a small things, a small steps in the market. Even I can bring a guy from a bodega, tell him when this market come in between those two yellow lines and you see resistance line, close your position. I think he can do it even if he had a few beers, you know. So we're not asking to be a brilliant trader or a genius trader. What we are asking, what we are saying, to maximize your profit. Why we need to maximize your profit? Because we don't know we don't know what is going to be up to on Monday. We don't know on Monday is going to be a market not willing to give us any money. We don't know on Monday is going to be chop market. We don't know on Monday if we can make money, or it could be Tuesday we're going to be making money. Normally, Mondays are not really the greatest days. So when we are banging on one trade, we want to maximize it because we don't know when the next meal is going to be. We don't know when the next meal is going to be. And it's not those guys, today 1,000, tomorrow 2,000, day after. Those guys, they're not going to make it. They are just hot balloon air. They're going to be out of this game within 6 months and they'll never come back, And then what they can claim, they are very smart, but the platform and the systems they were using, they were not good enough for them. Those guys, they're going to stay out, and then they're going to end up But for the guy is taking the job seriously, on this one here, is telling you here there is a trend exhaustion. We enter between those two yellow lines. The party is over. And now, whether you have on the ES or NASDAQ or Dow Jones, whether you have 3,000 or 4,000 or 1,000 or 200, it is up to you, up to the trader to take it off the table or take his chances. So right now, it's not much based on one contract. 500 is not much. But it is up to you to take it or leave it. Because for that market to go all the way up here, the probability become less and less and less. And if we want to take any kind of trade, this is a CL, this is a NASDAQ. I don't have an ES. I'm sure I do have an ES somewhere. There we go. We have an ES. Even when we are auto trading, and this is a different type of an auto trade, has nothing to do with the signal. What we have done, we put a button for you here. So when oh God, now I'm crossing the line. I'm telling a guy with an auto trade to push a button. Oh God, forgive me. But the reality is when the market come here and enter that area here, I apologize to say that to the auto trader. Sometimes you have to do something that there is a close position here. So when you see this market now is on a 1,500 on the auto trade, 5 minutes ago was 1,700 or 2,000, you can say, you know what, that trade now is between those two yellow lines. There is a resistance. Take my profit, close position, and you can close position, and you do not deactivate the auto trade. Then, oh God, now I'm crossing the line. I'm telling an auto trader to interfere with the trade. Oh God, forgive me. Once you are closing here, okay, I apologize to make you work hard, but also you can direct after you close that position, which I'm gonna show you right now. As we said here, I'm gonna close this position, and you close it, and made 1,800, okay, on that trade. Now, I'm gonna reset this auto trade to take more trade. I'm gonna right click, and I'm gonna tell the auto trade to go one more round, okay? So now the auto trade is gonna go again to trying to claim $1,000. But on this time, because the ES, as you notice, as we told you right now, after we flashlight what's going on the ES, none of you would dare go long on an ES. Even if you have an auto trade, Now you are pushing the brakes on the ES. So this is one of the things also, even if you are working or something, and once you see the ES going in between this, hey buddy, go short only. Look, it changed the color. Look, change the color. And now we are in this area, it's not worth it. I'll say change the color and say short only. You can do that, you know. So the more knowledge you have, the more maximize profit. This dummy question is, how much you think your auto trade is gonna be making next month? For you, banana, nothing. Because if you are on 100% mechanical and you don't want to use your brain, you are at the mercy of the market. If the market move, you will make money. If the market don't move, you're gonna lose your pants off in the market, and there is a good potential you're gonna lose your account. Especially if you have have a pocket money like $3,000-4,000, most likely you will be out of the game within a month, less than a month. So right now I can direct this auto trade long only or short only or close position, and then and as we see here right now, folks, as what I said yesterday, what I said the day before, you are a future trader, and we have to predict what is going to happen in the future, not based on indicators, and we don't know what to do. So now we know the story on the ES, came in between those two yellow lines, resistant, is falling back. Where is falling back? By now your indicators, ATR, MACDs, all those whatnots, you download them for free. The market now start punting, there is a short trade. There is no short trade. There is a pullback re-entry. There is no short trade. From that area here to that area here, this is a pullback. When you are counting on those indicators you have, or you have super glued a MACD or an ATR, call it auto trade. It does not mean you have an auto trade. You have a bicycle. And this is a pullback re-entry because the trend is long. Your indications, your indicators, all reading wrong. So while the amateur traders start taking short, you need to start thinking, reposition yourself to go long. So also we called the NASDAQ for you. We told you it's the end of the line, and it was the end of the line. Now it is finished, has crossed, as we said, the number, go below that number. Now it is the party over on the NASDAQ. There is no longer long, and now we are going to the short positions. So once we cross the last line, the last fib line, the party is over for a long trade on the NASDAQ. What we have done, and we have released it on Monday, also the new traders got it. What they got on this auto trade, there is 5 auto trades, by the way, for the signal, 5 auto trades. And then you have the TI7, the scalper, the reversal, institutional auto trade, next generation auto trade. The zone has 2 auto trade. The fibs has auto trade. What we have done, we have released, we have 2 auto trades based on the pullback re-entry from the trailing stop. And that's what we have released on Monday. And because most of the time when you have the system, you will find out the market come back to those trailing stops because those are fib lines. You have the trailing stop 1 and the trailing stop 2. The trailing stop 1, it is a fib, floor and fibs, minor floor and fib, and the second one is a major floor and fib. So what we have done with those re-entry prices, automated re-entry. When the market pulled back, even if you hit your target, you can re-enter the market based on the pullback re-entry. Because if we are looking at this picture, it's the same picture as the ES. 90%, whether you are in China or in New York or in Europe or in Tyskland or in Spain, 90% those guys are using indicators by now. They are indicating short, and there is no short. There is a pullback re-entry. And this is when they see they fell in the trade, and they refuge to the auto trade and skip and understand the market movement. There is some technical here. If you wanted to catch the trend from the beginning, reversal, we have released video about that on YouTube to everyone, and we release a lot of secrets about reversals. But when you are trying to trade with the trend, there is a certain area in the market that cannot be traded. The chart comes in pieces, and the market, you have to look at your charts to understand where is the bumpy ride, where there's a lot of turbulence in the market. This is going to be a high risk trade. And where is those area you're going to have a lower rates of risk. It's not just auto banana trading. It is about where are you in the trade and which location on that chart you are trading, and where is the high risk and where is the low risk. Folks, if you don't do that, you're not getting anywhere. And you know, nobody put in hard work like I do to the public, given back to the public for free. I don't know how long I can do that. I don't know how patient I am because I'm bored with it. Every week I think about it. Should I go live again? Why I need to do this? Every week I question myself why I'm spending 2 hours for nothing. And then I say I'm giving back. We get a lot of email, thank you, Sam, and all this. But it is taking a lot of a chunk out of our life, you know. And so now, if we notice here the NASDAQ, once across this fib, now it is the proper place to go. This is another thing now. Look at this. This is what I have covered yesterday. Do you really think this NASDAQ is going to go through? If you go back to the video yesterday, we teach the same principle. This is a very high risk trade at the moment on the NASDAQ. I tell you why. If you go back to the video yesterday, if we look at the left upper corner, the market analyzer, okay, they are not in sequence. That is going to cause your ES, your NASDAQ, your Dow Jones to go in a big mess, especially when you are auto trading. Especially when you are auto trading, when they are not in sequence, the trade is going to fail when you are auto trading. And it does not matter, because people think, okay, what's wrong with your auto trade? Does not matter if you are using somebody else auto trade or you are using our auto trade. The level on the market is the same. The ES movement is the same, whether you are using my auto trade or somebody else banana auto trade, doesn't matter. One thing here it is, when we look at the market analyzer, as we have said yesterday, when the market is not in sequence, you have chop market. And when the market, and why this market fell, now this market is going back as a re-entry at 128.23, want to go short the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ want to go short. The ES is going the opposite direction. That is going to put a pressure on both of its charts. One of them is in the wrong direction. What we do, we look at the 30-year Treasury bond. The 30-year Treasury bond should be the opposite direction of the ES. Again, the 30-year Treasury bond should be the opposite direction of the ES. And now if we look at the 30-year Treasury bond and on the ES, they are going in the same direction parallel, and this is a wrong movement. You can, for the more advanced trader, he can open the bigger chart and he can pinpoint which one is wrong. But one of those charts is wrong. One of those charts, you're reading it wrong. You cannot see that from indicator. There is a chop, and until this market start going back in sequence, you cannot auto trade if you're not qualified to do that. The ES is a very strong to the long side, and the Nasdaq want to go short. And here is the problem. On the Nasdaq, you have a major resistance line. You have the re-entry on 128.22.50, and the ES is not willing to give it up. If we look at the ES, has crossed, finished, trend exhausted, but it's not dying out on us. It's not changing direction. So now we have confliction here in the market. The Nasdaq want to go down, the ES want to go up. And that's what happened to you when you're trying to auto trade and you cannot see it. And you get hammered between the ES and Nasdaq and you don't know what's going on. Then you go back on the weekend, try to optimize. Trying to optimize your auto trade. You think there is something wrong with your auto trade. No. It doesn't matter where this auto trade coming from, whether it's mine or somebody else, because you are not aware of the chop market. It's not everything optimization. If we look at the ES does not want to give up. It's not willing to give up. Here is the target, is above the target, is on the critical area, is on the critical, is finished. It's finished here, and there is a lot of momentums in here, and the ES is not, the Nasdaq is not willing to comply with the ES. And that can cause problem when you are auto trading, and has nothing to do with your optimization actually. So now if we know, as I said, this is the re-entry point on the Nasdaq, one of them has to give in to the other one. One of them has to give in. And look at this. Either the Nasdaq, and this is where we're saying there is some critical area on the chart, they're not tradable. As an example, if this Nasdaq, this is a short trade, pullback re-entry short on the Nasdaq. ES is finished. ES, there is no more trade on the ES. From that number, 128.2575, all the way up to 128.42, you cannot trade that area. From that area to that area, you cannot be traded. It's not a tradable area, whether you are auto trading, voodoo trading, manual trading, it's not tradable area. This is a high risk place because you don't know which line is going to project that number. And it's going to go right back in. The only time we're going to start looking forward to the trade, once this Nasdaq goes above that line, pull back, confirm the support, that means you have the okay to take those trades. Until then, hands off the Nasdaq and it cannot be traded. Whoever took the ES, he's still climbing. And on the auto trade, the Nasdaq is still on the Nasdaq auto trade is still climbing. On the CL is still climbing on this one. There's not but to enter a new trade is impossible right now on the Nasdaq. If you are in a trade, it's fine. But to enter a new trade right now on the Nasdaq is a very high risk. So on the auto trade, the 5 minutes on the Nasdaq is still climbing long and has the entry 12760. The short trade was failed, like what we said, and now it's going to climb again. And once we are above that number, the market is going to fly. Once we go again above that number, it's going to be speedy market going up because it has survived the technical area. So this is the last bumper on the NASDAQ. And if this NASDAQ able to survive that one, go a little bit up, pull back, confirm that's become a support, the resistance become a support. This means now we are in sequence. NASDAQ, ES, Dow Jones, the market is lined up again for trading. Let's look at the YM. This is a CL, and this is a YM. I'm not gonna mess with the YM as going to the target I'm gonna leave it as is on the YM, and I'm gonna leave it as is on the YM. I'm not gonna play with it. Target is already hidden for profit taking, and the CL is okay. The NASDAQ is about to close, and if you notice on the NASDAQ, still, look at this. If you notice on the NASDAQ, it's still, this is the last bumper on the NASDAQ. That's why we said it's a very dangerous area here. We don't know if this market going to project from this first line, the second, or the third. And this poor guy trying to jump in the wagon here, scared to gonna be missing a trade. And there you go, the market freak him out. And the aggravation become, and when you are aware what's going on, it's not surprising for you. If you are patient enough, it's not surprising for you to see the NASDAQ going down, because we have talked about it before it happened. So the NASDAQ fell to comply with the ES. And we know that the ES is finished, has already entered the zone here, and it is already done. We called that half an hour ago. We are done with the ES. We put it on the side. It's done. Whoever took that trade, and whoever secured himself with a trade, he's okay. But with the NASDAQ right now, the first trade was $3,000 or $4,000. That's fine. We can accept that. Right now, those areas here are not tradable. Whether you are auto trading or voodoo trading or a manual trading, those areas cannot be traded. If you are insistent on trading this area here, take a quarter out of your pocket and flip it, you will have a better chance than your auto trade. We need to see that market going above, pulling back, confirm, and that's for the last 28, 29 years, this is the only thing I know it works in the market when you are trading with the trend. Identify trend, pull back, re-entry. I have seen a lot of smart things come into the market for the last 28, 29 years. They come fast, they left fast, they fell. The only thing I know stayed with us for the last 28, 29 years is identify trend, pull back, re-entry. It never fell for the last 28 years. Patient, not being aggressive, certain area on the chart cannot be traded. I don't care what kind of system you have. I don't care what kind of auto trade you have under your sleeves. There is a certain areas in this market that cannot be traded. And you have to be aware of it. There is a high risk areas and there is a low risk areas. And we want to stay consistent on a low risk area. So right now, as we see now the NASDAQ give up on the short, and now he start going and complying with the ES direction. It's a matter of time. Now, within a couple of minutes, we're going to see the NASDAQ going in the same direction of the ES and the YM. That means the market is in sequence. That means it's a green light for you to start your engines on your auto trades. Optimization by itself is nothing. No. It's nothing. Optimization, how the optimization is going to predict that for you next Monday? How? So don't spend your weekend, stay with your family, and don't spend your weekend optimizing things you're going to get bill out of it. Optimization is a good idea to tell you where you are in the market, where is the probability this auto trade to start around 8 or 9 and then stop at 11, 12. Yeah, that's fine. But the details, as they say, the details are on the devil. So the details from day to day still is up to you how you are managing your auto trade or your trading, when to trade, when not to trade, when to jump, and when you stay. When you get up in the morning and when you see the market analyzer, they're not in sequence, go make yourself a coffee, go get yourself a breakfast until this market you see it in sequence, and then go ahead and start your engines on auto trading. Now when this market right now on this NASDAQ going with the same direction as the ES, now we're gonna have a lift up with a trend, and that is gonna be one more round because the market spiked today. Usually the market spiked once a day, but the market spiked around 9:30 when the market's open, and maybe there is another potential for one more round before it gets 12 o'clock. Keep in your mind today is a Friday. So we wanted to, there is a good potential for one more trade on the NASDAQ, one more round, and then it's over. Also, there is another option if you are using the 15-second. There is one guy was asking me how you use the 1-minute market analyzer in conjunction with the scalper, the 15 seconds. When the market dropped on the NASDAQ, the 1 minute is like a big boat. To make a U-turn, if you want to make a U-turn on a boat, it takes a lot of big circle to go on it. And when you are, how we can, okay, here's an example. You have a $700 on an ES trade here. We know, we told you it's finished, the ES. But you still would like to get another signal. You can always look at your ES 15-second when it's gonna ignite the new signal. If you want to reverse your trade, you can close your trade and catch the first signal come out of the 15-second for reversal, if you don't know how to look between two yellow lines. So when the market had dropped on the NASDAQ and it fell, turn around, who picked it up, the signal, is the 15-second. Because the 15-second is a smaller time frame, it's gonna ignite a signal before the 1 minute. So in a way, if you don't know how to reverse, as I said yesterday, if we are handicapped in one area, we can find an alternative to cover our handicap with it. So if we don't know and we don't have the time to learn the reversal, we can combine and look in when the market here start turning around, we can go ahead and depend on the 15-second. It's not to just put in the 15-second here for decoration. The 15-second market analyzer to predict an early prediction when the market is going in the opposite direction. So when we are taking the reversal on the 15-second, we are no longer waiting on the signal coming from the 1 minute, because we know now we crossed this critical area and this market is going to fly, as we said, because now this market is going to be in sequence. Once the market is going to be in sequence, this NASDAQ is going to fly. So we can catch an early trend from the 15-second and keep going with it. So if we don't know how to reverse, there is always alternative. We can do that and stand waiting on the one. Look at this now. The new signal came out on the NASDAQ, and now we have buy, buy, buy. The market is in sequence. Now, if we look at the NASDAQ 15-second, and as we told you, once this market going in sequence, this market gonna move very fast. Now everything is lining up. Your engines are lining up. Here's another thing, is we have a support area, should hold, in case of any change in direction or momentum in the market. We are already covered the $1,000 for the ES trade. This is more than any guy sitting out there, bubbling his mouth. He cannot even make $1,000 a week. But he's smart. He's a king of trading. I don't know if he's a king or queen, but he has nothing to do with trading. So now we understand how this NASDAQ going in conjunction with the ES. The ES is finished. We have, now it's 10:42, and we have told you half an hour ago the ES is finished. You cannot get hair out of a bald-headed man, and the ES takes are over. The buffet table is finished on the ES. There is nothing on the ES except reversal. And that's why we see the ES, and especially if you are auto trading, you see your ES going in a circle, is not doing anything, and we can see it is live right here in front of you. It's not going anywhere. Has entered this trend exhaustion with a projection resistant, and is getting heavier and heavier, and it is the party over on the ES. And there's nothing except taking a small micro account reversal on it and wait. Go to sleep and come back, you might find it. So right now, our this one here is over. Our destination right now, we are on a different planet, and now our destination is 128.7125. If we can manage that, going all the way up to the target, you nail with $2,000. This is the difference between a knowledgeable guy and a guy is smoking cigarette and daydreaming. I smoke too, but I wish I can daydream. But so now we can see this market is going, and we know. Look how fast it is. We know we are on the right direction. So when you are trading, you are more comfortable. You're not nervous. You're not closing this trade immediately, just selling out on $100 or $200. And as we said, we did not just predict the movement. We just also predict how fast this market is going to happen once we cross those places. And now if we notice here on the auto trade, we are the only company with an auto trade that if this market trending, your target is gonna go and move for you. It is a full automatic. You can turn off our brain once we used it for a couple minutes. Now it's burned out. We can relax a little bit, turn off our brain. And also there is another indication here. If you want to also take a manual trade, there is a buy and a sell signal. This is totally independent system than the system is taking the auto trade here. So as we know now, we know this one here is finished. 007 ES is finished. And we know we are climbing. And this is your best trade for today. Despite the first trade was for $4,000. When we first came in, it was a trade on the NASDAQ for $4,000. And this is your second round, and it is finished for today. Done. Stand sitting miserably behind a computer all day long, not knowing what to do. Knowledge, not your money, knowledge. If you have $50,000, you have no knowledge, I guarantee you can spend it all in one day in the market and you can lose it all. If you have $5,000 with the knowledge, you can go much longer than this guy have $50,000 and has no brain to learn. So there is no ATM machines here, guys. You earn your trade. You earn it. And a guy don't want to earn it, I don't feel sorry for him if he lose in the market, honestly. For a guy sitting for 20, 25 years, 28 years, busting his eyes and his life to learn the market, and here's a guy come in on a Pinto and he thinks he's gonna get away and he's gonna cross my account and put his money on the table and he thinks he's gonna smoke me out. Well, dream again. I'll smoke you out. I will smoke you out within a day because you don't know what you're doing. And when you are putting money on the table, there is somebody else has dedicated his life, his computer, his tools to take your money out. And you come in with not knowledge and you think you're going to smoke him. Keep thinking. For every $100 you make, somebody lost $100. You know. So now there we go. What we said about the ES, we predict the ES short. We predict the ES short half an hour before it happened. Half an hour. Half an hour before, we told you it is over and go on a micro account short on a sim because the party is over on the ES and the party is over. One thing, when is going to be really over on the ES? This is still, he have the last chance on the ES. There is a re-entry point on the ES at 39.2175. If this market go below the 39.2175, kiss the ES goodbye. You know, kiss it goodbye. It's finished. It's gonna fall all the way down to the 39.12. So now the last bumper for the ES to be confirmed is out of the long trade. Once this ES go below the 39.2150, kiss it goodbye. It's finished. And that is going to drag your NASDAQ and all other trades down. Nice, Jerry. Here is your critical area, 39.21.50. Okay, we are done with the NASDAQ. This is the last critical area on the ES. There we go. I'm going to kill the microphone for 5 minutes. Thank you. Look at this. It's amazing. What we told you about the ES, the last bumper is 39.21.75. And look, 39.21.50. Exactly where we have said this is the last bumper on the ES as a re-entry. And look where it is. To the tick. So the market is not hard to understand, guys. And we knew this is the last bumper on the ES. This is the last re-entry on the ES. And look at this, to the tick. It is about prediction, not following. Future trading is about prediction. If you cannot predict the market, you cannot survive in this market, because your profit is based on prediction, not following the market with ATRs and MACDs. This is a wrong message for those traders. And look at this. Prediction. You always have to think, what is the next step? Do not follow the market. Predict the market. On whatever system you have, you need to predict, not follow. You should be in control with your trade, not let the market drag you to trouble. You should be controlled. Once you lose control in the trading, once you lose management in the trading, you're going to spend. You're going to get lost. You should let the trade comes to you. You do not let this market drag you to unwanted trade, to very hard area to make money with. You are in control, not the market. You are in the control. Once you are at the mercy of this market, you're no longer able to survive. The trade has to come to your standard, not to any auto trade, not to my standard. The market does not care. You has to come to you, to your standard, where you wanted to take the trade and how it has to be before you accept the trade and take a risk in that future trading. You cannot be at the mercy of a mechanical trade and close our eyes. If you want to use a mechanical trade, you should be in control with that mechanical trade, and you should be the manager for that. And now, as we see, after few minutes holding, we told you on the last one, and that indicate immediately those trades, they're going to be in order and they're going to be closed. Now the second, this ES, the second bumper is going to be 39.19. It's in pieces. Once we cross those, now we are on different direction. 39.12.75 is in directions. I'm going to kill the microphone. Take a break. Thank you. I'm working. I told you yesterday, the guys, I'm going to share this information on Monday. I'm trying to find a solution for this guy. There is some people they try and they cannot understand all this technical stuff in the market. So I'm always, it is a big challenge for me. I'm always trying to, I'm not worried about the professional traders. I'm worried about the amateur trading. And I'm trying to find somehow put the amateur trader on an auto trade, but in the same time, I don't want him to blow his account, you know. And I'm trying to, on the TI7, what I'm trying to do on the TI7, to stay consistent on the market, expose himself to the market. This is a very aggressive approach. But you can, on the TI7, you can do everything. On the TI7, you can clean it down to 1 or 2 trades a day, and you can get a couple of 3 quality trades. We have covered this in our room. We can use a higher time frame, and you can take a couple of 3 trades, quality trades, And if the market not moving, most likely you will have 1 or 2 trade, winning or losing, but you will not be in a bigger problem. But what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to build a template for beginners. Okay, we closed the Nasdaq. That was a beautiful. How much the Nasdaq made today on Friday? 5,000 front of you. How many? I don't want to talk about money, but how much more do you really think a guy running a trading room can nail over $5,000 on the Nasdaq trade today? This guy, you are paying him to be in his room. Do you think he can do $5,000 on the ES, on the Nasdaq? No. When you have the proper instruments and your proper knowledge, you don't need to pay anyone. You don't need to pay me or pay anyone to be in his room at his mercy. And how many of you follow rooms? At the end of the day, they claim they have made 100 tick, and then you turn around to your P&L and you are done 100 tick. And then you can hear this guy saying, well, I told you to go short here half an hour ago. Yeah, well, there is no recorded, so you cannot confirm what he's saying anyway. Okay, there we go. Jerry. How long you been a member, Jerry? Last week? I made over 3K, and he's on the training, of course, And Jerry, you've been with us, 7 days? How long you been with us, Jerry? 7 days? 6 days? We have another guy also killing it, Sam from England. Anyway, so what we are trying to do here, I'm trying to find a way to start a guy, and this is 1 minute. It's not some kind of weird looking chart with a ranker bar. And this is a minute consistent. And when your auto trade works on 1 minute, that means works on 2 weeks. Jesus. Okay, Jerry, you've been with us 2 weeks. It feels like yesterday. Okay. So what I'm trying to do, I will share that on Monday. Trying to put a guy on a micro account and keep him in the market. And Lewis, trading room. Where are you? Where are you, Lewis? Too many messages. I'll fish you out. Okay, there you are. You're the only guy with a cowboy hat. Good looking guy with a cowboy hat. Trader room don't teach how to fish. Exactly, Louis. Thank you, sir. So, Louis, this is something maybe you will be interested in on Monday. I want to share this. I will work on it on the weekend. Put it on a micro account. Turn it on. Keep chasing the market from 9 to 12. This is your second week, Jerry. Okay, good. And I'm still working on it, but I'm trying to find a way. It is all bringing a guy as a member not knowledgeable is much more a challenge than the market. The market is very easy to read, but getting a new guy is much more challenge to make that guy fly, because you cannot make every trader fly. You cannot have every trader success. You cannot. As I said, I mean, you can be in a class, you have a 50 students, not the 50 students, they're going to get A+. You're going to have somebody carrying banana at the end of the year. So teaching is a challenge. And I'm always 75% of my updates, because we update constantly, practically every week. All my concern is about this new trader. How you gonna make him a right in a market without infected his account? Because no matter what you say, like my children, they have an ear problem. They don't listen, So no matter what you say, the guy have always tendency to go live, and he want to skip. And he want to skip the learning part. And this is for the last 15 years. And so it's always a challenge for me how I'm going to get a guy not knowing anything about the market. And I don't care if he makes 200 or 300 a day. This is not what my target. My target is how to put this guy on something not to hurt his account in case if he goes behind us, and go live without any knowledge, which this happened in the last 15 years. They borrow money to buy the license from Ninja Trader. They borrow money to buy the system. They go in debt, and they put everything on the credit cards. And they have no time because they need to make the payments every month to whatever they use the credit card for. And they try to skip. And then what happened on those, they try to skip the whole thing. They don't have time because they need to make their payments at the end of the month. And then what they do, they get in more trouble. And this is what happened for the last 15. The guy don't have money. He is more aggressive than a guy have $250,000, because the guy on $250,000, he's very careful with his money, how to invest it. He wanted to be knowledgeable. He wants to understand how his investment going. Where the guy have couple thousand, he has no time. He want to turn his 2,000 to 100,000, which he's not going to do that anyway. So he has no time. So we find out the last 15 years, the less money that trader have, the less experience he has, the more aggressive he is. Because he has nothing to lose except those couple $1,000s. And he walk away after 2 weeks. After you spend time with him, and he walk away. He's not cut for trading. So I'm always trying to find something. It's a challenge for me always how to bring a new guy and he's not going to listen, and try to put him on something he do not hurt himself with. So I'm working on the TI7 template where he will stay with the trend and cut off the trailing stop. And on the TI7 you can have it a stop loss, or you can have the system turn off, turn on. If you put your trailing stop on 0, your target on 0, the auto trade will take over for you. That's how it is built, the TI7. You don't need to put a trailing stop and stop loss. Yes, Sal, we're gonna have a webinar on Monday. Yes, and we have a lot to cover on Monday. So when you put it on 0, that's what you get here. The auto trade will take over the trailing stop, stop loss, and you keep going with the market. You know, this is where I'm trying to see, and then you just turn it on, turn it off. You know, of course you're gonna bump into some nasty areas here, like this one here. So I'm trying to figure out if this worth it or not, because our main teaching is how to avoid a chop market. But what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to figure out, is it worth it to keep him on and let him take his small losses? You know, 10 takes his small losses here somewhere, and until he catch a big fish from 9 to 12. So this is where I'm working on that, and I'm working on the YM, ES, NASDAQ, and trying to see, before I give it to this trader, I want to see. So if we didn't finish the 2500 today, he would have taken that trade, close open position, and probably he would have nailed another $1,000 on that. So this is my challenge right now. I'm trying to figure out something easy for that guy to stay on the trade until he catch a trend, and then he stops. I don't know if this makes sense. Does it make sense? Louis, does it make sense? Or I'm smoking something today? Jerry, does it make sense? Charles, does it make sense? Yeah. So, guys, okay, what we'll do, I will try to look at it. I don't like to work on the weekends. I like to relax, but I will. Well, Alan thinks it makes sense. Well, anyway, guys, what we do, okay, Jonathan thinks it makes sense. Thank you. What we do, we don't send templates. What I will do, I will share the setting. I want every trader to right-click on the strategy and put the numbers. So what I will do, I will share the setting on Monday webinar, but I'm no longer want to send template. I want the trader physically right-click on the chart, open the chart, and put the numbers I give him. But I don't want to send a template. I want the guy get his hands dirty, and I want him to right-click on the chart and put the numbers. I'll give you guys the numbers. I'll teach you how to do that. I'll teach you how to set it up. and what you do with it is up to you. But I'm trying to. Ben, yes, sir, thank you. So you can also use a higher time frame, like a 13 range, 12 range, and the higher the time frame, the less trade, and you stay with the trend, and you stay away from the noises. So it's always a challenge on this kind of trading, because if the target did not hit 2,500, you would have entered right now the market at 39.20, and now we are 39.14. This is probably more than what any amateur trader does in 1 week. So that would have been here another $1,000 trade, so, or $500. So when we first come out with the TI7, actually it was this template called amateur traders, and then yesterday I was looking at my templates, and then I found it, and then I start looking at it again. But when we first come out with the TI7, it was the first one. The first template is the name of this template is amateur traders, But we're gonna refine that, and I'm gonna try to work on it on this weekend or on Monday morning before the webinar, and then share the information with you guys. Also, there is another option, because those bar colors, those are not an ATR. Look, under this number here, they are red. Look, they are red. Red and yellow, red and yellow, red and yellow. Also, you have the entry for those bars, and you can decide to enter the market from on the first or the second bar when the bars change color. And as you notice here, those are yellow. This means the market is in neutral, and then you will take the trade on the first or on the second trade. So there is a lot of, and on the re-entry, those bars, when the bars change color, you can also lock out of that trade. It automatically does. And then when it goes back to blue, goes back in, and is already in your TI7. It is a very it is for something like this, if you wanted to be aggressive and keep chasing the market. So now if you have an entry here from 39.20, this is a very good trade, and I'm working on it. This is the YM, and I'm doing the NASDAQ, the same thing, So it's gonna stay on that trade, and what I'm doing to it is just a breaking even. In other words, I'm not setting the target. It's gonna stay on the trend, like this one here, until the trend is over. And then what I'm doing for safety, I'm breaking even a plus 1 or 2 ticks. And if this market want to go further down, it's going to make money. And if the market is going to go back, it's a break even a plus 1 or 2 ticks. So in other words, if this market goes back, it's not costing you any dime, because it's covering your broker. So this is where I'm going to that direction for those amateur traders. And then once he sees his potential 500 or 1,000, he can always close it, or his potential 300, he can close it or override it, close the button, and then get it over with. So, and this is a beautiful trade on the ES. So this is what I'm working on right now. It's always my nightmare when I have a new customer. I swear to God, I get stomach ache every time I have a new customer, because you bump into something. You know, I will not lie, if we didn't have a bad experience for the last 15 years, especially if you are in the public. If something fall from the sky, from God, will not survive in the internet age. And every time you have a new customer, I get stomach ache from it, because you don't know what you are getting into with this guy. I don't know what planet he's coming from about trading, and it is a nightmare. Sorry, you hear some kids. Thanks God they are not mine. Anyway, so because you have a guy, he have seen so many commercials, and you have some guy can listen. Some people don't listen. Some people want to learn. Some people don't want to learn. Some people get depressed. And it is very hard when you have a new customer. How you gonna approach that customer? Because every customer is different. I mean, you take a guy like a Jerry or Sam from England, or those guys, they're like fish in the water. They take the software and they fly with it. You don't hear from them. But when you have this guy, he have a budget of 2,000 this month, and next week another 2,000 and 4,000, and he don't have money. He want to learn. He don't want to learn. He get depressed. He gets stressed. And what happened? He stressed me with him, and actually it doesn't pay me off this. So right now it is a nightmare when you have a new customer, because you know, every customer, you have to approach him, you have to teach him, you have to put up with him, and then so I'm trying to find a solution for that guy, so he can have his life easier, and mine too, and so this is where I'm start approaching for the amateur trader, and I'm trying to see if this survivable for him or not, you know. And as we see here on the Autotrade, I know there is a lot of trades, but you can put it on a higher time frame and cut off those trades. But when you make it $2,500 on the ES, I don't mind for you to pay between a slippage and commission $500, and you walk away with $2,000. And on this one here, you're about to hit 500. Let me see on the YM. This is the YM on the different automated trade. The target, I mean, you know, he can walk away with $600-700 on that trade. So he should be happy camper, I think. I don't know. God help me. I don't know. We'll see. But this is where I'm working on. This is it's been you know, it's been in my head trying to cook it. I don't know. Something will come out for those new beginners, because no matter what you teach this guy, I mean, not everybody is gonna remember tomorrow that when you get between those two yellow lines, do not take a trade. Probably it will be forgotten tomorrow. So we have a guy like this. We have a guy like this. He forgets, and every morning the support has to remind him what auto trade he's using, and we have a guy like this. Is a nightmare, and he forgets his nature. He forgets, and so maybe this guy, he understands the concept today, but tomorrow he might forget if he's depressed. So I'm going with that direction to see if this one's survivable for him to do that. And if we are looking at those trades, $495, $500 on the YM, let's say a couple $1,000 on the ES, he's gonna have some losing days. Absolutely, he's gonna have some losing days, but it will be a little bit less headache for him. Anyway, guys, it is a short trade. We are going. Look at this; it's beautiful. We have the market analyzer in sequence. Sell, sell, sell. Look at this, and the 30-year Treasury bond buy. So if we look at this, now the market is working like Swiss clock. Now everything is in order. The market is synchronized with each other, and now you can see this market dropping money for you. Why? Because this market is in sequence and very simple to see what's going on, and immediately on that kind of auto trade, you can say secure some of your profit right above the resistance line, and secure some of your profit. Secure some of your profit, or if you want to, you can just close out everything, and you have you made it for this week. And on a Friday, it's nice to finish your daily target as soon as possible. Be careful with the Friday. Don't let it the trade on Friday ruin your weekend. And this is what I'm working on. I want to show you. I don't know if those traders, they are gonna accept that. And I think what you can do also, you can take your manual and move it a little bit if you want to. I don't know if this one too much work for you guys, but maybe you let the auto trade. You don't need to optimize. You don't need to do anything. You just turn it on, and then you can override it a little bit and say, okay, I'm happy with this. I'm happy with that. But don't put it close to the trade. Then you're gonna end up with a couple $100 trade. Leave it a little bit away from it. Allow this market to go back and forth. So that's why I left it a couple takes and trying to see if this is something for the traders to do. I don't know. We'll see. We will. I'm gonna cut off the microphone for 5 minutes. Thank you. Okay, folks, to our members, we have a lot of new traders come in on board. So on Monday, we need to cover the re-entry point on the signals, and we're gonna be covering this new project for the amateur trader on the TI7. For the ones do not have the link, request the link for the weekends, and I strongly advise all the new members come on board to be there on Monday. Please, it's very important because we're gonna cover the signal, and then we're gonna cover the TI7, and then we have a new auto trade. We have not even showed it here. It's between the fib lines, the zone auto trade. We have not even covered that, and we made 3 releases on last Monday: the zone automated trade, the re-entry on the signal, and the TI7 for Ninja Trader 8, and we put another version in there, the V8 version. So we will be covering the trading signal on Monday, and we will be covering for the TI7 traders, because we have some traders that like to trade that, and they are using it for another platforms as well. I'm using it for different investment. I might share that with you on Monday. I use those charts for different investments, and I might do that for you on Monday, and show you my portfolio as well, and and I will share this one. This, for somebody don't want to use his brain, I don't blame him. I don't like to use my brain, so we will do that. Folks, I wish you really the best weekend, and we are done for today. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Please be safe, and we'll see you